At least someone zip tied it. It was just leaning. There's several things. Yeah.
Hello. I've got the tablet in my hand and just getting it sorted out for him now. Yeah, we're okay, Charlie, we're okay.
Well, there's a weird buzzing noise. Are you hearing that?
No.
Or is it just me? I'm hearing a complete buzzing noise on my headset right now. It's very loud. Like, very loud. It's really loud. Like, that's all I can hear right now. I'm not sure if Scott can come out. Yeah, the talk back. Can you hear me right now? Check,
yes,
check.
Yes,
hey.
Yes. Yeah, you need to plug that in though. It'll be able to hear Charlie.
Which is the one beside it? Yeah, 2. Yeah, there's one in pink that says 4. That didn't change anything. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, all good. We were late, so.
Welcome to Cincinnati, and it's semi-final time here from the World Ultimate Club Championships. And we have Red Flag and something of a surprise team from Finland, although they won't tell you that. PuTi from Espoo in Finland, undefeated in the tournament so far. I'm Tom Stiles alongside Theo Wan. And Theo, you're a Canadian, you know a lot about this Red Flag side. Just tell us a little bit about what they're going to bring into this game.
They're going to bring a lot of energy. This team was formed in 2020, right before the pandemic started, and they won the Canadian national title in 2021 and earned themselves a bid here to Worlds. So really excited to see what they do.
Yeah, and PuTi, like I said, have come through the bracket unscathed. They've had some close run games, a couple that went very, very close indeed. But so far, they are undefeated in the tournament. Everyone was talking about Krut being the top European side here in Cincinnati. PuTi have upset that. Krut knocked out yesterday by the hands of Mixtape. And the team from Espoo in Finland continuing a strong performance here at the World Ultimate Club Championships. You can see the play coming down into this game. PuTi defeating Reading 14-12. Brilliant finish for Reading to get that far. They would have had fancied the chances against PuTi, but wasn't to be. Red Flag taking down Noise in something of a chippy game, Theo.
That's something we'll have to talk about for sure during this contest. A spirit timeout actually needed to be called at 3-0, and Red Flag spirit score a little bit lower than what you would want, and we'll have to talk about that throughout this game. And 4 teams from different countries in the mixed semis. That's always exciting, and potentially if things go the way of PuTi, if that's what they want, they could have a non-North American final, depending on what happens on the other side.
Either way, it's going to be a close contest. See the Red Flag line preparing for this game.
Red Flag going with the 4 female matching players to start on defense. Get a look at Zell Mott, a player that you have to keep an eye out on. Got the red scrunchie there, and someone who makes a lot of athletic plays for this Red Flag side.
PuTi in the backfield, getting us going here. Quick advancing pass. Reset. The Red Flag defensive pressure is there straight away. Getting the disc, keeping it moving. Deep shot available. Deep shot goes up. Disc over the head. Just slips out of reach. Some of the most difficult catches coming in over the back of the head of the receiver. And it's a shame that PuTi couldn't connect with that one, Theo. They looked like they were moving the disc nicely.
Great flow to start this game, and Kaupinen trying to make the grab. Like you mentioned, over the shoulder grab, always difficult. And now Red Flag's defensive line an opportunity.
Straight down the field. It's going to be a lot of players underneath this one. Big grabs and just enough contact made to take the disc away. A call. The disc hung in the air long enough for the male matching players to get down there. Felt like 2 separate contests going on at the same time, Theo. What was your view?
Vu was looking for Mott, who had steps on her defender and Ryunin. But then, as you mentioned, the throw hanging up, and multiple players, including Kevin Tong, getting involved there.
I could have avoided the contact if in front for him. The old player.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I felt the contact from below, like on my foot.
Yeah.
The only thing that hurts right now is my foot. So I would say like my contact would be probably like my foot to your foot, which wouldn't cause the huge like contact that she felt.
Would you say that it was a...
I would say I still got contact by you first, and then KT, and then he contacted you. Like you.
Are we going to come to an agreement? We're going to contest.
Should we ask for opinion? the observer also. I'd say.
Yep, you'd like an opinion?
Yeah.
It was too close to call from my perspective.
A contest. It's very difficult in those situations. The female matching players weren't going to get up to that disc because the male matching players had poached off and got in there. But the contact between the two players is the reason for the call. Vu starts with the disc.
Vu is a big-time shooter for this red flag team, so expect him to do it once again if he touches the disc.
Goes up the line. Options deep, sends it. Red flag underneath. There's going to be some pressure building. A touch off and a defensive block in the end zone. This time it's clean. Tommy Sandberg takes it out of the sky for Pouty.
Sandberg had the big throw earlier that just sailed a little too far for his receiver. Now makes it back up on defense, and another offensive opportunity for Pouty here. Pouty spacing continue to be really strong right now in their horizontal stack, making a lot of space for their cutters.
Shivo gets it across to Rekala. Rekala centers. Oh, miscommunication downfield. I'm not sure if Shivo thought that disc was for him or not. Disappears into the turf, Theo.
For both of these teams, this is a huge game that they're not used to, potentially.
Goes deep and gets the disc from red flag. Vu the provider again. The deep shot game from red flag. A strong component of their progress through this tournament so far, and proving it to be again so here.
Edward Guol, one of the captains of this squad, taking off, and mentioned previously that Will Vu is going to be a shooter for this red flag team as we see the throw. An IL throw that ends up going OI into the turf. And then Will Vu with the powerful backhands. Actually played in 2018 for the Banana Cutters at this tournament as well, along with Guo, who celebrates in style. Getting a look at red flag's defensive line right now. That's a start they want, Tom, getting a break right away.
So, perfect break start for the Canadians. Quick movement across the field to Nini. There's an option coming underneath, but peeling out of there, and eventually you can understand why. Marsha Martus comes forward and grabs. Back into the hands of Huitinen. Miller. Miller looks up the line, spins back around. Huitinen floats one across the field to Wiedmann. Wiedmann resets to the center of the field. Raunanen. Martus. Good flow here from Pouty. They're a tight-knit team, this squad from Espoo in Finland. Big floaty shot around the top to Huitinen. Martus trying to find a way to reset the disc from that tricky position. Does get a big floaty disc right across the field. Excellent vision. Not sure if it was a high percentage pass, but red flag unable to get it down. Nearly in the end zone. Quick pass. Baited. The bid came in, but no stopping the disc, arriving in Emil Wiedmann for the score. Pouty hold on the second attempt.
For the Finnish fans or European fans in the audience, got to be excited about that. A smooth hold after getting broken on the first point. A great inside shot to open things up as well, and then a lot of patience in their end zone offense set there. And interesting enough, in the way they started their offensive set, their pull play, 2 players on either side of the field. Not something you see all the time there. And for keys, as we keep things going here, keep it clean for red flag. We talked about that chippy game that was played against Noise. Mika Kurahashi is going to stir a lot of the drink for red flag and run a lot of things for offense. And for them, their offense runs a lot through their male matching players, something we expect to see again here today.
For Pouty, we saw Kanini on the disc early. Didn't shoot it deep on that occasion, but definitely has the potential to do so. But Pouty have got a really deep roster. They've got stats from everywhere. But their big challenge here is to contain the red flag deep shots. We've already seen that's been a bit of a problem in this opening point. Another one going downfield now. Red flag scoring at will here. Great run down and grab in the end zone. And red flag dominating that at the moment. Well, we said it was a key to the game. I wonder if the defensive line for Pouty have realized that so far.
Neo DeBrew making the grab. Another lefty handler for red flag and Sam Creed, formerly playing for Furious George. A few of the male matching players doing so. Uncorking a large backhand to get things going. And what an answer right there, a smooth hold right away for the Vancouver side.
We did see the 2 Spirit captains from both sides getting together and having a chat beforehand and going through a whole range of sort of Spirit-related issues. It did feel like red flag trying to get on top of the situation they're in. Very low Spirit scores this time. And Theo, that's something that Vancouver has sometimes struggled with.
For those who may have seen something in 2012, I know that still can haunt Canadian teams when they go to world tournaments. They're usually made aware of that incident and have discussions about Spirit with other teams, and things have changed a lot in that area, and hoping that reputation continues to grow back up as teams try to play with Spirit. But as you mentioned, red flag a little bit low, 8.75 right now in the Spirit score rankings.
Advancing the disc nicely here. Pouty looking for a way in, and do find one, but there's a poach off block, comes out of nowhere and takes the disc away. Shivo thought the option was on. Red flag say no, it's not.
Kevin Tong flying through for the block. Coming seemingly out of nowhere off of your screen. And he is a fiery player that's very excited about that one.
Floating the disc forward, it's going to come to the turf. Not enough curve, not enough float. And frustration from Zelma Mott as it dives into the turf. Wiedmann. Back across the field to Shivo. Pouty has it with Rekala. Sandberg. Shivo. Otari across the top to Sandberg. Rekala. They just keep running these reset cuts. Pouty at the moment. Sandberg. Contact made, foul called. Sandberg unhappy. Didn't seem to appreciate how close the defender was, Sandberg, there, did he, Theo?
Well, looking like he made a lot of contact there, trying to make that play. We're going to have to get a second look at it potentially as they have some discussions. He was trying to avoid contact by going around a little bit. First game, they're trying to get the hand on the block. Sandberg claiming getting hit on the left shoulder there, trying to make that play.
From my perspective, it was two players going into the same space. I could not tell who initiated any contact.
I thought I didn't make any contact, but I thought I did not feel anything, so I personally...
Masses of contacts being made, and I mean, maybe that's Squow again. Went deep for that early shot. Guo. Building the team as we go. Shivo. Vu comes to mark. It's going to be a good contest to watch. Strip call. Another big bid. A lot of pressure building with every one of these passes. Mott.
Semi-final action. I'm expecting this to continue to happen here. It's very tight and high stakes, of course.
You think
so
they had
these calls
it
expecting to pile up potentially, hoping for a cleaner game moving forward.
Yeah.
Disrupts the flow with a lot of these calls.
Very close, so. It's on the screen if you want. Yeah, so she's saying that she thinks she had it grabbed.
Oh, I did have both in my hands, and you can see it from there, really.
Yeah, it's too close for me to be able to call from there.
I'm
So.
sorry, because I know I had it. I can't say anything else.
Yep.
But I know what I know what
I think it sounds like it's contested to me at this point if you can't reach an agreement.
Definitely didn't have both hands on the disc, Recollet. Certainly looked like she might have had one. Whether she'd fully stopped the rotation, one of those things that's so hard to call at full speed. It's even hard to call with the replay. Contest the decision on the field. Miller gets it back to Shivo, back to Miller. Shivo sets off again. Another big bid coming in. Pouty has to get across and does keep it alive. Wiedmann, Miller. Good positioning from Vu, taking away that shot around. Going to be another big bid here required. Comes up with it. Great grab from Nappanen. Miller. Sandberg. Sandberg floating it forward. Otari across to Shivo. On the far side is Miller. Back to Shivo. They're just trying to find a way through. There's a lot of space in front of the end zone here. No one coming out of the end zone to take the disc. Shivo goes up the line. There's a pass back here. Red flag lurking. Sandberg's got it now. Looking for a continuation cut, but it has to go back around again. Red flags, red zone defense. Really doing the job here. Wiedmann. Can't find anything there. Sandberg's closer now, making a good around cut. Front corner options are running out. There's no reset to either. And the pick is called. Theo, tense stuff.
Cuts were very stagnant downfield, mostly just handler movement there from Pouty. We'll see what they decide to do now.
Sending it into the end zone. It was a risky option. Reckler the target, but picked off by Mott. Eventually, she finished with the disc after that strip call in midfield, immediately calling a timeout. That's early timeout, only 2-1, 7 minutes into the game, and red flag have called the first.
Just trying to settle things down here. See some great discussion happening with Guo and Sandberg. Both players high-fiving at the end and talking things out. That's what you want to see. in these high stakes matches here. Semifinals winner going to the final, and Tong making the bid, coming up empty on that one. Then we see the turnover there as Mott gets the block, walks it to the end zone line and calls a timeout. Podner and Suraka, Podner representing Red Flag and Suraka for PuTi, talking with game advisor Ruben Berg there, and shaking hands as well. As this timeout for Red Flag, allowing them to set up their offense. And we get a good shot of fellow Canadians, Iris, watching in the audience from Quebec. PuTi having defeated the Montreal team Lab in the round of 16, holding on Universe in an exciting one to get to the quarters where they took down Reading, as Tom mentioned previously. So this PuTi team being battle tested and having some chances right now on offense, but some turnover stopping their ability to get a smooth hold so far on this one.
Back on the field, action continues. Having got the turn, what can they do with it now? Vu. Big arm Vu sends it deep, chasing it down. Disappears out the back.
Holly Mott, the intended receiver there. Was told she had an injury pregame, but looking like she's out there for the squad. The Mott twins, having played for numerous U20 and 24 teams for Team Canada, as well as previously for Traffic. And PuTi, a third opportunity here for this offensive point.
They're being pushed hard by Red Flag. They've had some clean movement in the handler space, but never looked like they had the option deep. Now Sandberg opens up an arm. There's going to be some pressure coming across on this. Shivo had gone deep, but the fast run of Guao comes across and takes the option away.
Sivo, a captain for this PuTi squad. See him a lot in the handler space so far, but going deep on that one. Did come up empty there for the Finnish squad.
Looking for deep options. Vu sends it again. Angling out of the back of the end zone. Wow, the option. And Vu has been providing a lot of the assists. 18 assists in the tournament so far, along with a couple of goals.
We're not seeing the turnover stats for Will Vu, though, on that sheet, because he is a shooter that's going to throw a lot and also pile up some of the turnovers, unfortunately, as well. When you're a high-volume D-line thrower, the assists come with the turnovers there, that territory, and Red Flag happy to allow Vu to continue to shoot deep in this game.
We saw Shivo go deep from PuTi there. I think we saw him anchoring the handling line the first couple of points. Pressure pays, the disc too far beyond the fingertips of Shivo. Quick movement in the end zone. Vu has it on the edge. Can they put it in for Red Flag? They can, and a kick spike.
Red Flag is fired up. You see the screaming from the players. Guo, Tong, big energy players for this team. As we see the flag of Red Flag being waved in the distance here, and that's a start you want if you're a Vancouver fan in the audience.
See the sequence that Shivo bid, trying to keep the disc alive. Couldn't get it in. And then sticks it to the front corner. The pumped up Red Flag team, really everyone on the team celebrating with a passion I've not seen on very many teams this week.
The thing with the high energy team like that, though, is if you get down, how does the team respond? If, and I expect when, PuTi tries to make a run, how does Red Flag respond with their energy if they get broken a couple times? Are they still going to be rah, 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 or are they going to be hands on hips and low body language?
High variance energy, Theo. You've seen this team from Vancouver play before. Just tell us about their success in the Canadian scene.
Unfortunately, last season they weren't able to play in the U.S. series. I know that's something that they were really excited about. So they did play the Ultimate Canada Invitational and were able to defeat PBHG from Winnipeg, who's actually here as well. So they're able to win the title, and both Mott twins being involved in a very handler/downfield switchy defense, where one twin would be kind of either handler set and then the other in the deep space, and that would actually help get a lot of poach blocks when a throw would go up, even to male matching players. Whoa, 2 goals, a block. Mentioned how he is full of energy here and taking a breath, not on this defensive point. Janelle Siwa set to pull, and Rayuanen walking back out on the field for this Espo squad. This Pouty team winning bronze at the 2021 EUCF, a team that's been battle tested, you mentioned, having played a lot together, and we're hoping that that chemistry is going to pay off as this game progresses.
Yeah, Pouty is the team in Espo is a sports club. They have multiple sports under their club, and Ultimate Frisbee is just one of them. They backed themselves coming into this tournament, and when the chips have been down, they've won some really big games, some of them against other European sides as well. Nini shoots it deep. Time in the end zone. Oh, beautiful run down. Marsha Matus collects in the end zone for Pouty. Better on their offense.
Eerily similar to their second offensive point when they got broken the first time. A huck to set things up for them, and that smooth hold getting them back in it gets the energy back up for the Finnish squad. Love that they took some time to draw something up and executed right away.
So far, the red flag defense have created havoc for Pouty, but they've really not been efficient. I mean, just look at this stat. Pouty have had 4 offensive points. Twice they've scored cleanly in very few passes. The other times they've had 6 turnovers, which means that red flag are just struggling to put it in once they've got the disc. If Pouty can tidy up their offense a little, then red flag aren't necessarily taking the options when they're available. This could be a really close game. It's the mixed semi-final here, and if you are interested in the other mixed semi-final, it's going on behind us, and you've got Hannah Pendlebury and Katie Killebrew, our WFDF commentary team, here on Ulti World on the other stream, and that is Mixtape from Seattle and Lunchbox, the team from Brisbane, Australia. Quick start for red flag. Yu gets it back into the hands of Chatter. Chatter sends a big flick downfield, chasing it down, lots of space and time, jumps it in, doesn't quite land in the end zone. What's your view, Theo? It's the conversation about whether he was in the air before he took off.
Yeah, sometimes you get the little catch while your feet are on the ground, then you do a little hop in after. So some discussion as well with the game advisor, and these calls continuing to gummy up and slow down the flow of the game here.
Everyone should go back to where you were when it was caught. When it was caught,
players having to move back there. It did look like he jumped it in, but right now DeBrew still having some discussions, other players involved as well. Oteri and Creed having some words of where they should be ending up.
Taps in. Block from Pouty. This time It's the red flag. Offense isn't as efficient as it needs to be. Short field from that big gaining long shot. Couldn't convert. Poticus downfield now. Martus. Ellen Hemo. Moving the disc now to Noppanen. Noppanen surveys the field, making good progress up the field so far, but red flag in close attendance all the way. Trying to break around. Good floated pass out to Ellen Hemo again. Fannanen. Noppanen. Noppanen in the front corner. The presence of Chatter creates the turn. Foul call from Pouty. Kayak, with the foul call.
I also
Was there I can't see where the contact came from.
I could have just grabbed it.
Oh wait.
Because you were so close, I was just like trying to get out of your way as well.
I definitely agree you avoided contact. I still think it's a dangerous play though.
I understand why you think it's a dangerous play, but I would never have hit you there because I saw where you were.
I'm not saying that you would have hit me. I think it's a dangerous play and I had to stop up. And it's just like, it's scary because you were coming into my lane.
Do you think we're going to come to an agreement?
Doesn't sound like it.
Doesn't sound like it, so are we happy to contest? From my perspective, you did do a good job of avoiding contact, but I'm not the one running at the disc.
I felt a little.
There's nothing in the
We
rules
have 3
about
whistles, so
being
it's been
nearby.
45 seconds. Are we happy
It
to
wasn't dangerous. Chatter
come to an
deliberately
agreement?
avoided
Yes,
contact.
Chatter had a clear view of Harushnikova, knew where she was and tapped it away and moved away from Harushnikova's body to avoid any contact there. That's what I saw.
Harushnikova might have been surprised, but it didn't look dangerous. Very deliberately avoiding any danger there. Game advisor doing what they could to avoid it. Just not sure about that call at all. Harushnikova continues up the line.
Oteri doing a great job of moving Sam Creed the mark with a lot of fakes, faking the backhand, and just really moving 74 in dark there for a red flag.
Pouty. Martus sends it across the field and a turnover. And I think maybe that's justice. Theo?
I'm not going to say the saying that many people like to say in Ultimate, so I'm going to leave the puns for later and let play continue here.
Chatter. Big flick downfield. My goodness me. Well, I'm not sure if that was luck or skill or judgment. But sandwiched between 2 Pouty players, running it all the way down. Edward Guau brings it in the end zone. Oh, it's not Guau, is it?
Neil DeBrew.
Sorry, I misread the number on the back of the shirt there. I thought it was 97. It's 87. DeBrew.
In your defense, the numbers can be a little bit difficult, especially when far away with these gold and black jerseys there. Chatta with the big put. We saw it earlier before they had to turn over the end zone, so they decided to do it once again. And it's a little not backbreaking for the whole game, but in this sequence, got to be tough for Pouty here, having an opportunity for a break.
So is that dangerous play call? I don't think in any way at all that anyone was at any risk of any danger whatsoever there. Harushnikova has been surprised, but look at this grab. Just does enough to put the disc back into a place where he can catch it. brilliant awareness. Sandwiched between two players. I thought he'd misread it. I thought it was going over the heads of all three of them. Just got enough to steer it back and gets it on the second time of asking. Red flag, 2 up now.
PuTi coming out that split stack again with 2 cutters on either side.
Vannanen just pops off the chest. Nappanen not able to catch. Sorry, it's Kaupanen not able to catch that one. Vu with a flick to the break side, and second time of asking. Mott brings it under control. Vu with 3rd assist of the game.
If I'm PuTi right now, I might have to call a timeout. A drop close to your own side, and turnovers starting to pile up as well. That's 8 total in the first 7 points of this game. Looking like they are just going to walk to the line here and try to maybe add some players that were off last point. I see Sandberg going back up, coming into this game. 16 assists on the tournament for this Finnish squad. Had a big hug earlier for the score. Or to lead to a score, excuse me. And Tom, throughout the week, we've noticed some humidity as well, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of the players using chalk or other substances to help dry off their hands, just with how sweaty it can get in this Cincinnati temperature and this climate here.
It has been very, very hot on occasions. Actually, not bad today.
Not bad today at all.
The sun's come, sun is hiding behind the various clouds. We're not expecting any rain. There is a big storm system passing to the south of us, but I don't think we're going to catch any of that. There's been some local flooding in Kentucky, but not here in Lebanon at the sports complex. Flick across the field, Reckler. Can Pouty find a way to get through this red flag defense? At the moment, they've come up empty-handed on every occasion. The timing of the cuts from Pouty just not there at the moment. There should have been somebody going across to collect that up the line shot. Wasn't happening. Sandberg now. Little dish back. Sandberg going to have to chase back all the way to collect that one. Floaty disc down the line. Collected by Heitinen. Heitinen goes deep. Vu in hot pursuit. Sandberg has it. Heitinen comes back underneath. Not the threat this time, and collects on this wing.
Before that Heitinen deep cut on Will Vu, there wasn't a lot of deep movement from Pouty at all. Just working it laterally in their handler set. Going to need maybe one player to stretch it deep just to keep Red Flag's defense honest from clamping down on these undercuts right now.
Across the field. Big flick. Sandberg catches at the front corner. Didn't look like there was anything wrong with that. Surely that's a point.
Not sure what the call is here. Justin Podner.
We were slightly concerned this might be a chippy game. But it's turning out to be particularly that way, which is a real shame.
Game advisors having to get involved early and often right now in this semifinal.
Yeah. Okay, no call. So it's a goal, or are you watching the replay first?
He's trying to claim that the defense had it first.
Yeah, I literally had it, so
So you're saying that you had it first?
But I literally had it. Watch. Look.
Are you saying that you had it first, though?
Oh, no, I'm saying we had it at the same time.
Same time, then offense gets it if it's same time.
Okay, well, not a goal. There's no way you're in. All right.
I was watching his feet.
Okay, no foul, not a goal. Right here. Why not goal?
Mark,
You can see it here.
if you'd like advice on the in or out.
This is an awful call from
We happy?
Podner.
Okay, no call. The goal.
That was ugly.
If I'm Podner, I'm gonna watch back this game and see that the call wasn't the right call there. It was clearly in. Even if, as we talked about the rule, if both players make contact, the offense keeps it. And so sometimes in the heat of the moment you make a call like that, but once you have some time, you gotta take a look and see that that wasn't exactly the right call there, as clearly in was Sandberg.
I'm grateful that we had the replay. I'm grateful we had the game advisor. I don't know what would have happened if those hadn't been there, because Podner was quite determined to make that call. And didn't have the disc at any point until he was really near the ground, and Sandberg was in the end zone. On all fronts, Podner's calls were bad there. I hope some of the red flag team just have a word with him and get him to get that under control, because that is not what we want to put on our stream. Got to call it as we see it here in the commentary box, and with the benefit of the replay and the sound mics, we can just got to call out. We've not had to call out very much in this tournament. It's been fantastic spirit, but Justin Podner not with a good example there. Chatter with the big flick deep. Pressure builds, but a great rise and a grab near the end zone. And pops it in for the score. Julia Zhao takes it. But Kurahashi with the big hockey assist grab just in front of the end zone. Makes all the yards for red flag and pops it in. Much better from the Canadians.
Kurahashi coming into this game. 24 goals, 6 assists, a big-time receiver for them. We highlighted her from at the top. Chatha continuing to put up the big hucks, and Kurahashi a big-time receiver, not just for red flag, but for the UBC Thunderbirds as well in the college scene.
Leading the stats for red flag this week. Mika Kurahashi, 24 goals, 6 assists as well. I imagine a lot of those assists have come from just in front of the end zone, like that one.
So you pad the stat sheet there, Tom.
And Chatter, 18 assists. So that flick, I'm a big fan of the fading flick across the field that fades back towards the edge. Just allows a completely different look. Can leave defenders on the wrong side. The defender will go out to cover the up the line shot, and the offensive player can swirl back into the middle of the field to pick it up. This disc is going to land in, and that's perfect. Shivo in the corner on his own end zone line, and Pouty having to do all of the work.
Came out in a set where they're trying to isolate Nini on the far side. Now melding back into vertical stack here.
Across to the far side. Nini puts it too far ahead of Wiedmann. Goes to the ground. And another quick early shoot, and this time it does connect. And it's Dubrow again. Third, no.
Edward Guo, third goal of the game.
And a call on the play.
There is a call, so we're not going to, Guo's not going to celebrate right now.
Sorry, the 98, the 97 and 87 numbers, that's the second time I've mixed them up, other way around this time.
Do you think it affected?
No, I don't think so, because they were marking us and both of us stayed here. So I don't think they would have been involved in the play.
Do you think, do you agree with that? Yep.
Guo with the goal for red flag. And both teams would benefit from a little spirit reset here. We're seeing really chippy, inconsequential calls that are making what could be a really exciting semi-final into a bit of a dirty fest.
So this will be the 11th, and it is.
Well, it's happening both ways, though, as well.
Oh, absolutely.
No not one team to blame, it's both. And, you know, you get the chicken and the egg argument if one team starts it, the other team answers. But it has been a little bit chippy in that way. And just looking on the other side of the bracket, the field behind us, it's 7-all on that field. So they played a lot more points there. Seems to be, at least, we haven't been able to watch it, but perhaps a cleaner game on the other stream where our colleagues, Hannah and Katie, calling the action as well. The winners of these two games going to meet in a big clash tomorrow at Mason High School.
Yeah, we'll, if you do want to watch that game, Lunchbox from Brisbane in Australia, mixtape from Seattle. We won't give you any further updates on the score, so you can go watch that game over there. We don't, if you are watching this retrospectively, just know it's a good game and it's very close. But Hannah Pendlebury and Katie Killebrew on the other one. Myself, Tom Stiles, alongside Theo Wan, with the pleasure of covering this European and Canadian matchup. Great to have Theo calling this red flag team. So much local knowledge. Reckler gets it to Sandberg. Sandberg shakes his head. Doesn't like the option. Reckler again. Sandberg cuts across and makes some nice space for the continuation. It's a deep shot downfield. There's going to be a lot of pressure again. Just enough pressure from red flag. Lambert takes care of business in the end zone. And picks up now. Downfield option is Siwa. Siwa finds an angle through, and Sandberg gets a fingertip touch on that. And a call on that play. That looked good to me. All the contact looked after it. Theo, what's your view? Let's have a look at the replay before we get too excited. Very difficult to see from that angle.
Definitely saw some contact in the back. Just trying to see when that occurred there.
Would you like a perspective?
Yeah, I felt like you had to go through me because there's a lot of contact. Okay. I mean, you're on my leg.
Or a rules clarification?
Sure.
So just because you touch the disc first doesn't negate the fact that it could be a foul? Okay. So uncontested? Accepted.
Game advisor providing the clarification to the rules. Sandberg accepts the foul call. The deep shot goes up from red flag. And red flag grabbing in the end zone and bringing it down. And they take the half, and it's an emphatic lead at the moment. 8-3 the score.
Ryan Hoy jumping out of the, not the gym, but jumping out of the field for that one and helping red flag get an emphatic lead here in this semifinal matchup. Red flag showing that they're going to huck it, and Pouty's, if they want to come back, is going to have to adjust with their defense.
So a little bit of a tense first half, but there's no doubt about which team has been better. 8-3 the score in the World Ultimate Club Championship semi-final. Back with more from Cincinnati soon.
The last 50 years have seen a lot of positive change
around a whole range of important issues.
And some things remain reassuringly unchanged.
Like the spirit of our game.
Ultimate is 50 years young
and still a perfect circle
of fair play,
athletic pursuit,
and camaraderie.
In fact, Ultimate was a social network
before social networks even existed.
Respetamos nuestras diferencias
and understand the value that they add.
The revolution of the disc in flight continues to prove
that there's nothing we can't achieve
when we
pull together.
Long live Ultimate.
Larga vida Ultimate.
Long live Ultimate.
The celebrations from Red Flag as they've dominated this first half against the team from Espoo in Finland. Celebrations for the Canadians, and a lot of work to do. And down on the sideline with Ronnie Hatari is Tyler Byram.
Ronnie, first half, there were a handful of calls in this game. How much has that been affecting you and your team?
Well, I think in a semi-final game at this world stage, both teams are trying to go hard, trying to make big plays, and maybe it's kind of part of this type of game. I think it's just a result of both teams going all the way, trying to get the bits, and calls happen. But I think we resolved them quite calm and in a good manner, and resolved it the right way. So I think it's a part of this, and it's not the fact that's making our game look bad at the moment.
Offensively, there's been quite a few turnovers, and you guys haven't been as crisp as you've been in some other games. What are they doing defensively to cause some miscues?
I think they're doing a pretty good job poaching the lanes. They're making our opening cuts harder, so we have to work it with the handlers, and maybe our stack ends up a little bit too far because of that. And yeah, they're making us work, and they're punishing us with the deep shots after that.
Big moment your team making the semifinals of this tournament. What has the vibe been like for the team preparing for this match and the upcoming games?
Well, I had to admit that probably we didn't think to be in the semifinal game, but every game we have won so far. We've earned them. We played lots of tight games, like coming back right in the end, and we believe we can do that in this game as well. And we have a good trust in our team, and we just gotta show it on the field for the next half.
Ronnie, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Tom, Theo, back to you.
The field here in Lebanon Sports Complex is laid out. We'll be back with more from Cincinnati soon.
There is a place where we are us at our best.
A place where everyone is welcome.
Regardless of age, shape, skin color, or anything else that tries to box people in.
A place where we defy the odds, defy the naysayers,
and even defy gravity.
A place where it's accepted that success
doesn't belong to the faint-hearted. It belongs to the brave, to the determined.
A place that knows grit, knows grace, knows bright lights, and knows empty bleachers.
A place where we remember to laugh.
Where we learn to trust.
Learn to high-five strangers.
And eventually, even learn to fly.
A place where character, community, and competition
are all as balanced as a disc in flight.
That place isn't in a stadium or on a field.
That place is in the spirit of our players.
Because we don't just play Ultimate, we live Ultimate.
Big play so far in this first half from Edward Guo. Exciting action from him.
Will Vu, another former teammate of Guo, or current teammate now, but former teammate on Banana Cutters at the 2018 World Ultimate Club Championships, making things happen Those two combining for a couple of goals, and then Andrew Ling finding him in the back corner as well with the flick. And Guo's been bringing a lot of the energy, kicking the disc high into the air, and trying to fire up this team. One of the founders of this group. And when you're scoring 3 breaks for your team, how do you not get excited, Tom?
Well, he's pumped up. It was interesting to hear the two Spirit captains from both sides talking before the game, wanted to make sure the game flowed. One of the things they asked about was spiking. And the Finns said, well, we don't spike, but we've got no problem with you spiking. So there we go. Kick spikes from Guo to celebrate one of the 5 breaks that Red Flag are up in this game so far. But maybe a chance here for Pouty to get one back. A mistake on the initiating pass out of the end zone. Can the Finns punch it in? No, they can't. Big pressure. No call on that one.
Peter Yu making the play. He's been doing it for a long time for Furious George, and now on Red Flag, and showing off the high-flying defense.
Swing across the field. Chatter. Nice gain of yards up the field to Creed. Creed resets back to Yu, and across the field now to Kurahashi. Chatter. Lovely reset. Sao swings the full width of the field. Kurahashi's in there in the end zone, but it's a reset back. Red Flag wanting to be a bit more sure of it this time round. Kurahashi comes out of the end zone and collects, then a lefty dish into the space. Big bid, and the bookends for Peter Yu, both ends of the field. A block to get the disc back for Red Flag, and a hold to start the first half for the Canadians.
Tough look there from Pouty as they had a chance, and that hammer being blocked by Yu, and they work it down the field. Martis from the Espo squad actually poaching deep throughout that point and allowing Kurahashi to get a free reset, and then eventually Kurahashi works it up with some of her teammates and finds Peter Yu for the score. But getting a break out of half would have been huge for the Finnish side. And pretty devastating right now to go down like that, now down 9-3.
Kurahashi, just the 2 assists, but she's not been as devastating deep. Maybe that is the one thing that Pouty have tried to clamp down on and actually been quite effective. But on the male matching side, they really don't seem to have been anywhere near Red Flag. And we know that Red Flag like to run a lot of their play through their male matching players.
One thing they have done in practice that I had a chance to speak to Edward Goal about was the fact that they actually throw to the different genders throughout every practice, trying to get female matching players hucking to male matching players and vice versa, because some of the players coming from the open and women's scene not having done that previously. So another wrinkle in Red Flag's growth here as a program.
Sandberg, big poachy defense at the start of that point from Red Flag. Running it up the sideline, Huitinen. Cuts up the line from Kaupanen. Floated high, pressure from Vu. It's a turnover. Vu surveys the options downfield. There's a big cut deep available from Tong. Tong now coming underneath again. Back to Vu. Vu opens up the arm, sends it spiraling through the sky. Sandberg's rushing to get back. And an apology from Sandberg. The bid wasn't a clean one, but it didn't matter. A 4th goal of the game from Edward Guo.
22 assists of the tournament for Will Vu. That's 4 on the game. And Guo finds himself in the end zone once again.
Well, this is dominant, Theo. 10-3 to the Canadians. Pouty being shut down everywhere. And the discs from Vu just keep on flying, and there doesn't seem to be anything that Pouty can do to stop those deep shots going up.
In the quarterfinal, Red Flag able to take down Madison Noise, a team that finished as a semi-finalist in the 2021 USA Ultimate National Championships. Won that game on Universe, coming in pretty battle-tested here. And you'll take that. A block, 4 assists. You'll take those 2 turnovers with the amount of touches Vu gets on defensive line.
And now it's like a poker player with the chip lead. He's not going to slow down. He's not going to think twice about throwing a few more of those. He's just going to be balling all the way through to the win here. 5 more points required for Red Flag. Vu in confident mood. A score and 2 breaks before the half, a score and a break after the half. And Red Flag haven't scored since the score was 5-3. Sorry, Pouty haven't scored since the score was 5-3. Dominant performance. Deep shot goes across. Hotari just out of reach. Oh, the energy's gone from Pouty. Open shot to an open receiver, but just getting the basics wrong. Didn't cut deep enough, early enough. Turned around and saw the disc was still too high. It's a flick battlefield from Siva. What a disc that is. Again, Red Flag's deep game completely opening up Pouty here. They get a reset. Can their red zone offense work now? Lamba. Hammer. Oh, they're in confident mood. My goodness me. 11-3, and nothing is going to stop Red Flag now.
What's going to stop them right now is, well, the momentum, at least temporarily, is going to be a timeout from the Finnish side. And going into this game, this is not the start and now in the middle that they expected. And it's been Red Flag's deep game that has really, really impacted this game.
Pouty trying to do something of the same. I mean, that disc was on, but Hotari had gone back underneath to collect it. And it was only when it was coming in hot, she realized it was going to be too high. She reverted, but you're throwing to an open player at this level, you expect them to read the disc correctly and find the spot that they're able to catch it in. Breaks, more breaks, few more breaks, and Red Flag absolutely in the driving seat. A space in the gold medal match against the winner of Seattle Sockeye. No, sorry, Seattle Mixtape. Dear me, it's been a long week. Mixtape and Lunchbox in the other semi-final. That's sounding a good one if you want to go and watch that on Ultiworld. Katie Killebrew alongside Hannah Pendlebury in the box for that one.
Got a good shot of some of the Canadian teams in attendance. Toronto Goat out there, and I can see some Vancouver Traffic players, of course, cheering on their own city's team here. And for whichever team comes up from the other side, that other stream that you talked about, Tom, they're going to have to make adjustments / key in on the deep game. We sound like a broken record, us saying that, but that's how most of the Red Flag scores have happened.
Yeah, they've got the throws, they've got the receivers. Kurahashi has been amazing this week. Look at the fans, they've bought their own little tent. Shade is vitally important out here. Goat celebrating with their team.
Goat and Furious George sitting side by side. Do like to see that when the two strong Canadian Open programs together.
Is that not a typical thing? They're not usually best buds.
Well, there are players that have played for both teams in the past. So, for example, Toli Vasilyev playing for Furious George, having played a long time for Goat, actually was on Goat for this championship in 2018. And then Jackie Howe, a fun story, playing for Goat at this tournament, but actually lives in Vancouver and will be playing for Furious George the rest of the way. So, luckily they didn't actually meet up, because that would have been an interesting game.
He's not cup tied for this one, no.
Maybe in that game he would just take himself out and say he didn't want to pledge an allegiance to either team there.
Well, Pouty talked at half there about how hard they've come out in the second half on several occasions in this tournament to get themselves through. but they're going to have to do a Herculean effort now. And the wind picks up. It's actually blown the Tom Styles hat off the booth onto the grass. Hopefully no one treads on that. Pouty, middle of the field. Shivo. Shivo has it back again now. Heitinen. Shivo. Sandberg. Just the male matching players for the Finnish team getting involved at the moment, and a pick called. Heitinen colliding with the 12 shirt of Hoy. They slap hands. All fair on the field. Sandberg flicks it across to Heitinen. Miller back to Heitinen, back to Miller again. It's just the position in the end zone from red flag preventing any play there. Shivo cuts across. He's got throws, but they need to find some space, and the cuts just haven't been quick enough to get away from the red flag defense. Or the lefty flick. Now there's space, now there's time. The hands go up, and it's Hatari in the end zone for Pouty. Their first point of the game since they were 5-3. Finally managing to stop the rot.
Able to do it in smooth fashion as well, but in terms of not giving up a turnover, but it was not without some resistance from the red flag end zone defense. You mentioned the speed of red flag, but also I think Pouty not selling their cuts as well either, not faking to the break side then cutting to the open side or vice versa, and I think that's leading to red flag knowing exactly where they're going to go and just putting themselves in that spot.
The red flag team look on a different planet to Pouty at the moment. They've just played brilliantly in this game. Chippy calls aside, you can't ignore the quality of their play. The deep game's been brilliant, but their defense again just stifling Pouty. And even though they managed to score there, they really had to work. They had to time their cuts. They had to work so hard with their legs to get free on every single cut. Red flag having a great game here in the semi.
And you contrast that with some of the smoother offensive points from the Vancouver group. A couple throws and then it's a huck into the end zone or just short of it. So there's also a contrast in just all the points that they're getting right now.
Yeah, they're not spending a lot of time on the field. Chatter. Interesting to watch how Pouty defend this time. Chatter's got the disc, and we just see Martus travel called. Reinanen calling the disc back. Zoe Luke resets. It's the sliding back foot. Again, this is calls we think the game could do without, but I think if Luke is travelling, she needs to be called back on it. Chatter gets it up the line. De Bruyne moving it now to Creed. A touch on the disc, and it's going to go to turf. Pouty with a chance to get a break back here. To be their first break of the game as well, Theo. They've not managed to convert any.
Get a little mojo going, score a couple and see what happens. Continue to have fun out there with your teammates. The score line obviously very large right now, the deficit. So if you're the Finnish side, just try to make something happen. Get that first break of the game. Start to feel a little bit better about yourselves.
So only the third turnover for this O-line, but I think that's largely because they've barely touched the field. They have turns in them, that's for certain. Nini sends a big shot downfield. Chatters lurks, and Chatter just deals with matters. Deals with it proper. Zhao gets it up the field. Luke And a big bid comes in from Pouty. Twice they've been turned. Double the number of turnovers for red flag in the 1 point. Rainanen just backs away. The big rise of Stastamoinen. Nini. Low disc, just kept up. And a timeout called. Final timeout from Pouty. They're running low. Let's have a look at some of the turnovers in that point. Flick to the deep space was too low, cut off quickly by Pouty. But what Pouty have done throughout this tournament has been really effective, sending deep shots up to their receivers, who are quite tall, but compared with the likes of Chatter, not tall enough.
As our colleague Liam Grant would say, the claws of Chatter coming through there, making that grab, and this time out a chance for the Finnish side to settle things down. He did get a layout block to cause a turnover. Some excitement there for the Finnish fans watching at home. We thank you for tuning in and cheering on your squad as they try to make a little run here in this mixed semifinal. You get a look at the red flag coach in contrast to this Finnish side, which does not have one. And so that's an interesting little a fact there of when things start to go awry for a team, a coach often on the side can diagnose what's happening and give some advice, whereas for them, they're all player-led.
Different offense here. 5 in a horizontal stack. Looks like Vepu Rainanen in the backfield. The deep shot goes up. Chatter underneath it again. Is it going to be red better? All sorts of contact made. A foul. And an accepted foul call. Good to see that at this stage of the game. Creed. Well, Creed's accepted this foul call. I don't know why the conversation's continuing.
Sam, you definitely hit him.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so like, I just felt like I had position in front of you, so I'm not sure that like...
At this point in the game,
yeah, no, I totally
one of the players has accepted the call. This conversation should stop now.
To go back, so because I'm not sure that you for sure would have like had that catch if you didn't get fouled by him.
Are we coming to an agreement?
Okay.
Contesting on the basis that it might not have been caught.
There's a time and a place for a call like that, and when you're 11-4 up, is not it.
Coming in on 6.
That felt completely unnecessary. Martus. Nini. Getting it across to Noppanen. Kayak on the sideline.
Harushnikova was really trying to move the mark with the flick fakes there. Maybe trying to sell that to get him around for a reset to Nini, who's kind of parked in the reset space right now. We're about to be.
Before the pick. Yeah, but before the pick. Yeah, so you can ask your teammates how long ago it was.
Harushnikova looks for a way through. Low release, well collected off the ground by Noppanen. Rainanen just tips the fingertips before disappearing into the turf. Frustration from Pouty. Red flag walk to the disc. Chatter flicks deep. Perfectly read, perfectly caught, nothing Pouty can do. Finns feel like they've been hard done by there, Theo. As a Canadian, I'll put you on the spot here. How are you feeling about this performance from Red Flag? Not with the disc, they've been great with the disc, but just with some of the calls.
We're going to look at the turnover first before I answer your question there. And yeah, I mean, a big thing for Canadian Ultimate is that there has been a reputation in the past for specific calls that have been made, and I obviously don't want to speak for the country at large. But there have been some calls, specifically in this game, that I'm sure a couple of the players on Red Flag would like to have back, or when they look back at this film, realize that those calls weren't the ideal ones to be made. I think that the physical contact throughout the game it's been there at spurts, but it hasn't been as bad as I think it could be in a semifinal game.
Yeah, I think part of the issue is that both teams are playing a deep ball game. None of the discs are sort of pinpoint, they're kind of floating, so there's been lots of occasions where players have gathered under the disc and there's been contact. I don't think that's been too much of a problem, but that last foul call immediately accepted, and that should have been it. Don't really understand. Patari gets it back to Rekola. Now the deep shot goes up in the end zone. Can they read it down? No, it's too far ahead of Kaupanen. Disappears into the turf once more. Pouty just not able to connect in the same way that Red Flag have been.
Every possession the Finnish side has had, or every point, excuse me, has had a turnover in this second half. Want to credit Edward Guo. He did bump the mark and apologized right away. I think if the throw came off as soon as he bumped him, it would have been a foul call, but there was some time after that. But Guo did apologize there on the field.
Guo sends up a big sky ball. No one knew where that disc was. Miller getting a block. Another call.
Miller, one of the Utah players on this squad. There's a bit of a Utah connection for this ESPO group, with multiple players having played for BYU and now playing for this Finnish side for this tournament. And Miller's one of them, having played for Boise Laksa and qualifying for nationals last year in 2021 in the mixed division, getting tangled up with Zelmont.
Are we going to come to an agreement?
This is another...
From my perspective, there was contact made by you on this player.
Mott had misread that disc and run underneath it. The contact was there because two players are bidding for the disc. I don't like that call either. Anyway, it's not what I think, it's what happens down on the field. But
that's why we're up here, Tom, and we can't play the game. So no. I think both of us retired here from the playing days. At least I am. I don't know about you, Tom.
Ling. Flicks. Tong trying to find a way through. Floating to the back corner. Pouty deal with it. Clinging on to this game. They have a mountain to climb. They trail by 8 points. And Red Flag seem dominant. Deep shot. It's going to run away from the Pouty receiver. Nothing Kendra Miller could do.
Huhtinen with the throw, another U.S. connection for this team, actually living in Brussels, Belgium now. And also previously playing for some Swiss national teams in the U20 and U24 division. Throwing that disc up, but just a little too far.
Timeout. Let's have a look at the bracket, how these two teams got to where they are now. Yeah, Red Flag beating Noise in a game that had another Spirit timeout. PuTi beating Reading and claiming that spot as the highest placed European team, with Hrut being beaten by Mixtape. Nice to have a European team in the top 4. With Reading and PuTi competing, that was always going to be the case. Mixtape and Lunchbox, if you want to watch that game, looks like a close one behind us. Don't know the score, and we wouldn't give it to you even if we did, because we'd like you to go and watch that on Ultiworld.
Get your subscription. It helps support the streams. I know this one out here on YouTube, we thank you for tuning in, but you can also get not just the live coverage, but the archive coverage from this tournament and the year's worth of filming that Ultiworld has done. What more could you ask for?
And if you do want to check out a very special game, the Sockeye Mooncatchers game, the quarter-final in the Open Division, is Lepler and Liam Grant came off their emotional wrecks. I think one of the best games of Ultimate anyone's ever seen. Quarter-final Mooncatchers versus Sockeye. And we've got Ring versus Mooncatchers coming up next. Mott sends it across. Gets it back to Ling. Ling sends up a big disc. Mott the target. Collects. Running free as Tong. Easy point for Red Flag. And they move within... move much closer. 13-4.
Tong gonna keep up the spiking and energy with the advantage. I think in an attempt to just keep the pedal to the metal for this Red Flag side. We talked about PuTi, not a team that's into that as much, and had a discussion about it. But this game hasn't been the cleanest of Ultimate games that you've probably seen there in your lifetime. For those in the audience and for Tom Stiles in the booth. Red Flag 2 points away from the victory here and a berth in the mixed final.
What I really hope is that Red Flag are able to watch this game back and assess how they're going to approach the final, so that we have a nice clean final, because the fans in the stands will have a very clear perspective and will make it known if we have a repeat of this kind of thing. Mooncatchers waiting there to play their semi-final. They'll be coming up. Oh, it's Pony Clapham and Ring of Fire will be playing against the Mooncatchers, the team from Belgium, with a few of the big Latvian players added to their squad. Look out for the Yonkers brothers and Arvid Zaloskis. You tune in for that one later on Ultiworld. But we're still here in the mixed semi with PuTi with a mountain to climb and Red Flag in the ascendancy. Sandberg fakes the big send, doesn't go. Rekkala gets the disc back. Stastamoinen. Rennanen cuts out of the deep space. Just a little dump pass back to Atari. Koistinen. Winding's picking up a little bit now. Rekkala. Full width of the field. Now big gainer to Sandberg. Rennanen's gone deep. The disc is going to fly high. Rennanen with the bid. Takes a lot of contact but comes down with the goal. She's okay. And she has a disc in her hand and it's a score for PuTi. Some relief there from the Finns.
Thought the throw was going to sail over her head, and a difficult read of that disc, but Sandberg going with the round backhand, breaking the mark and absorbing the contact. An immediate thumbs up there, indicating she's okay.
have impressed a lot of people this week. Undefeated. Nobody was really talking about Pouty coming into the tournament. They were one of the highest ranked European teams, but the likes of Smog and Reading, and considering where those teams are going to finish, Smog certainly been beaten by D-Crash, one of the favourites from Europe, playing out of the UK. High expectations from that team, but it's fine margins here at Worlds, and if you lose an early game, you can end up right down the margin, especially with this format in the mixed division. It was a round of 32. And if
no power pools, yeah.
Well, if you lost that round of 32 game, then your tournament suddenly looked very, very different. And maintaining the kind of mental energy to sort of get back towards the 17th is the highest you can finish when you lose that round of 32 game. Brilliant disc. Kurahashi sends it back around. Chatter. On this near side is De Bruyne. De Bruyne, high stall count. Kurahashi is in a perfect spot to collect. Sends in the deep shot. Chatter rises. Chatter brings it down. Dominance in the end zone has been the story of this game. And a red flag rips another one out of the sky. Gagan Chatter with the goal, and within one of taking their place in that gold medal match, guaranteeing a gold or silver medal. The team from Canada dominating.
Vintage Chatter there. He's taken a couple years off. Hadn't played Furious in a while as well. Making his return on the offensive line for a red flag. Pushing himself downfield and rising up for the score. De Bruyne was in trouble there with the high stall and having to throw that blade out into space for Kurahashi, who was just basically standing there for it.
Yeah, Kurahashi getting free. But finding the disc across the field still was a difficult shot to take. Managed to get it across nicely, and Kurahashi did the rest. Chatter the target. Working out, and within one now, Pouty. If they were to take something positive from this game, it's that they've struggling here, Theo.
They've been able to generate some blocks. They've had some poach opportunities and some deep blocks. Some of their female managing players getting involved in that deep space, helping out. They'll be playing later on today, so they're going to have to regroup and get themselves ready to try to win a bronze.
Exactly. They've managed to maintain their composure, which I think, considering some of the play, has been much needed. Shivo runs it down for a goal. The handler coming out of the handling space, going deep, losing the attentions of the defender, Vu, and running it in for a goal. The team from Espoo in Finland still celebrating, still positive. Good to see.
Having played his career with the open side as well, and Otso, captain here for Pouty, making the grab. And yeah, those are things to take away. Their hockey game has not been as precise, but they know that they can make some of those plays happen, and they're hoping that that will show itself in the bronze medal game, which, barring a miraculous comeback of sorts, will be where they end up.
I saw Shivo on your screen there. His family and friends are watching at home. He's coached the team Otso as well as the under-20 nationals team at Worlds twice. But puts his career highlight down as his own European Championship gold in 2009 in the under-20 division when he was a junior, so he's been at this for a while. And you know, top 4 at Worlds with a mixed team, that's pretty phenomenal highlight, and they will have had a great week out here in Cincinnati. Perhaps not the way they would have chosen their run to end, but they have that bronze medal match against the defeated side from Lunchbox and Mixtape who are playing currently on the field on ultiworld.com. Chatter down the line, Kurahashi. Back to Chatter. Zhao goes up the line, collects, just. Zhao sends it, drifting towards the back of the end zone. It's gone over the top. A bid on the line. Kurahashi questions whether they were in. Was she in? We have another angle for you. The shot from Zhao over the top of the intended receiver. I think she's scored a goal. I think she's won the game. Let's have a look at the other angle. There's it over the top. I think this is as close as we get, I think. Let's see. Hand. I think she scored a goal. I think that's game Canada, game red flag. But it's what happens on the field. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Well, if you needed proof, right there, we've got it. What incredible. That's from the back of a camera. Our
contest it, and they can discuss their call? Sure. What is the call over here?
A different call, further up, back upfield. Well, it seems fitting that this game finishes with a review of a monitor and a call on the play. I mean, great awareness from Kurahashi. Absolutely brilliant to keep that disc alive, and amazing. Shout out to Ulti Photos for getting the shot of it. It's a deep shot again, this time, no question. Red flag win in emphatic style. They've beaten Pouty from Finland 15-6, an absolute rout in a game which will be remembered for quite a few of the wrong reasons, but undeniable win from the team from Canada. Tom Stiles alongside Theo Wan for this one, and Theo, undisputed winners.
Red flag from start to finish, showing their might, getting the break to start this game, and really not looking back after that, taking half and in dominant fashion. And the deep game was really the calling card for them, and is the calling card for this team. And so for the two teams playing in the semifinal behind us, they're going to have to do a lot of game review of red flag from this one and find ways to take away some of the big throwers from red flag. If it's not Sam Creed on the O-line, it's Gagan Chatha instead. Got to find a way to stop Kurahashi as well, who got a lot of touches in this game. Might not be putting up all the assists and goals for this team, but is out there facilitating movement for this red flag squad.
Yeah, Kurahashi with the 3 assists. Vu with 4 assists, Chatter with 2 assists and a goal, and then goals coming from all the way across the roster. Neo Lebrou, also a big part of the game. But those 8 breaks, and Pouty just unable to put it in. They had 4 chances, but couldn't put any of them in, and red flag dominating. Only 4 clean holds though, largely because they didn't have the O-line on the field very much. And down on the field with a player from red flag is Tyler Byram.
Janelle, congratulations. You guys get to play now for a world championship. Is this something that your team envisioned? I know there's so much youth on your roster, so much national team experience. Did you guys think that you would be able to compete for a championship here in this tournament?
Well, last year it was our first time really playing against other teams. We went to Canadian Nationals, went against the best in Canada, and now to come to Worlds and be able to prove ourselves against the best in the world in other countries, it's a feeling like you can't really beat. Something that we've been really kind of focusing on as our mantra is play like you've been there before. And I think that based on how we've been performing, based on how we play for each other and for ourselves, I think we've really succeeded so far.
You guys definitely have. One thing that your team really prides itself on is poaching, especially on your women's matching players on the defensive side of the disc. You were rather effective with that in this game. What was that game plan coming in against this Pouty team?
Well, we don't really strategize based on other teams. We definitely strategize based on our skills and how our team performs. And I don't want to sound like we have a big head, but we like to think that we have the best girls in the world. And, you know, on a team like this where our girls are so strong in the mixed game, it really shows when we go up against the other best in the world.
Anybody watching at home that you want to give a shout out to that you get to play now for a world championship?
Oh, shoot. Hi, Mom. My mom's probably not watching, but if she is, hi, Mom.
Janelle, congratulations. Good luck the rest of the way. Tom?
Yeah, good to see the positivity from Janelle Siewert there with our interview. And the smiles from the Finns. They managed to maintain composure, but they couldn't keep up with the force of the Canadian side. Red flag into the gold medal match. And Theo just wrap it up. A great performance from Red Flag.
Top to bottom, they came out to play, not giving up a single break on their offensive line. PuTi had opportunities, not able to cash them in, and they'll have a chance to fight for a bronze medal later here today, and chance to leave Ohio with some hardware for the Finnish side.
They'll go on to do that. We'll go on, and if you want to stay with the mixed division, it's still continuing on the other field. Lunchbox versus Mixtape, but right now from Tom Stiles, from Theo Wan, and our whole Ulti-World crew, thanks very much for watching, and stay with us for more from Cincinnati, the World Ultimate Club Championships. Red Flag advanced to the goal.